All right, boys and girls, here we are for another chill session. Diablo 2. You know, this game, I want to start by giving a little commentary, a little background, a little capsule in time here, if you will. So, Diablo 2, this game was on my list of games to get. Like, this was one of the games I was the most excited to get. I think it came out in, I don't know, like 2000, the early 2000s or something. And I waited all the way, maybe 2001, all the way to like 2000. I think it was January 2007 or 8 to buy it. And even then, I only bought this for my buddy's birthday. And oh my God, what a great birthday gift. I'd visit him, and I had my computer over at his house because it was just the best place to put it where it was safe and he could use it and all this stuff. But um, there was nothing like Diablo, really. I mean, I think the game was called Runestone. I think it was a PlayStation game that was kind of like it. And we're like, whoa, I can't believe this. And that was kind of amazing, but I had my doubts that it was as good as Diablo. Because even Diablo 1, what that is today, that was amazing to play back in the day. Oh my God. That was back when I was always playing the Barbarian, and so I kind of don't play Barbarians much anymore because I just had my fill on it. Dang, that gets me fired up. I want to see what they've done these days to vamp up the Barbarian class. Anyway, we got this, and then plus the expansion, and it never went down in price. I don't know if you guys were window shopping like me back then, but, so I was in high school and everything, so, as a kid, money is not easy to come by. Though I did have a job, I had other priorities, too, for money, like I was buying clothes. That was a thing that was hard to come by, decent clothes when I was a kid. Um, People had a style and this and that too, but that wasn't. Anyway, so, you know, buying stuff like that, filling out my life, had my car and everything too, so the car was kind of a big expense. So, like, it was this contention back then. Like, the zeitgeist was such that when you went to the store to buy these entertainment things, like, a movie season or something, people don't remember this. And I think, like, with all the, swiping through social media, etc., people's memories get overwritten. This is a real thing in psychology. They don't remember that, like, a season of a show used to cost $50. Really, if you wanted a show that had 10 seasons, you had to pay $500 for that. That's no joke. Some of them, oh, maybe they had a shorter first and second season and they combined it and just call it a volume one, whatever. I think The Simpsons were like that. But, that brings me to another point. Back then, you nobody really had like complete seasons and stuff like that. My uncle would buy these old shows and he'd get the whole box set, but he's the only person I knew that did that, and it was always some show you never heard of. Anyway, people would replay stuff a lot back then. Replay a movie, replay a game. But yeah, there was so much going on. I remember playing Command and Conquer on the console. God, I think it was an N64 one. Not the original Command and Conquer. It was the one with cloak tanks. And I saw my buddy laugh harder than I've ever seen him laugh before or since when he put these cloaked tanks. I was playing Diablo 2 when this happened. And he's behind me and he's like laughing so hard he can't breathe. And I come over to see what's going on the screen. And all he did was park these cloaked tanks at this choke point on a hill, and then the computer was rerouting to go way around. And that was the funniest thing in the world to him, that the computer couldn't get through there, which I think is born from his, oh, the computer's perfect and blah, 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 because he would always cheat when he would play games. First thing he did, he'd fire up a game, he'd use all the cheat codes. I'm like, and then he like would complain that he wasn't good at a game or the game sucked. I'm like, well, the problem is immediately out of the gate, you're breaking the rules of the game. You don't even know what the rules of the game are. He was getting better there near the end. He was beating us in Halo and crap. Do. Okay. So when I played through this the first time, I beat the base game and then I I went on to Lord of Destruction, and I think I was in Act 5. I think there are 5 acts, if I remember right. Oh, by the way, I haven't played this game since then. That was like 2007 or 8. So this is my first time firing it up since then. I've been meaning to play it the whole time. And anyway, I was almost there, and for some reason, um, so he was in some sort of like adult foster care deal. And he puts my computer on his kitchen table, and this woman caretaker that would pop in to his place, like, I don't know, every 3 days or a week or something. She came in and grabbed the computer and took it to Best Buy to have it recycled. I'm like, why would you put it on the table, first of all? Like, I don't know why he wasn't using it or why it would be there. And she was adamant that that was the location for her to pick up stuff and just get rid of it or process it or something. And anyway, I lost my Diablo save with that, and then I never finished the Lord of Destruction expansion because of that. But anyway, I was playing as a Necromancer because it was the best class. It was just most interesting to me. I don't know about best, but like again, I'd had my fill on Barbarian, Assassin. I didn't even know what the hell that was supposed to be about. Martial arts, mind and body, deadly weapons. Maybe I don't know, an Alpha Strike to kill something quick. I don't know. Wasn't I've never really been interested in ranged characters because in games it's always the case that they force you to like do some melee crap, and I'm like, okay, dude, I gotta totally retool for this. Um, However, there was one big thing that stood out because, and this is something I want to mention because I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, and I've never heard anyone else comment on this, but Diablo 1, I believe, was the end of the era of damage over time abilities being good. This game might have it, but I haven't tested it, and I don't think they went super hard on it yet. But since like Diablo 1, like, no, I'm gonna say Diablo 2. Definitely after Diablo 2, when I played it in '07, because I didn't play it right when it came out. But after that, games just have gimped damage over time. God, I was playing a game recently with the damage over time thing. Oh yeah, Serious Sam Tormental. I was playing that, and they've got the fire mod for your primary weapon, and it'll do 80 damage over the course of 4 seconds or something. And while it's something there, it's not good enough for a number of reasons, and they gimped it in a different way in that game that's kind of not normal, but like the enemies just fire faster and jump around and freak out hysterically when they're on fire, so it makes it even harder, so it gimps that function even more. Anyway, so I may do something with that. Now, I would play the Necromancer, but I believe it was patch 1.10 where they totally gimped the Necromancer. It was so fun. When I see people talk about Dungeon Siege, which I also want to play, and I might have played that when I was a kid, because I remember playing a game where you were just kicking the crap out of everything and had like a crew with you. But uh, this character's skeleton uh, raising ability, it got gimped. I think it's the first 3 levels, you can raise a skeleton for each level. Then after that, it's every 3 levels you get an additional one. And then it was like, oh, but there are synergies you can get. I'm like, nah, dude, roll all that back. I was having fun. There's a rule. You don't nerf things when it's a good option. You buff other things. And I guess I don't know how you do it in that particular situation, but I'm going to sidestep because I did want to play a different character, but I like me some summoning, so I think I will be the druid in this case. And man, I think on this channel, what I want to do, I'm going to just do a call or a group session with some people. And we're going to do this many times because there is so much information. There's no really way to state it, I think, that would, get from beginning to end with a conclusion without being so dense that it would just lose the audience. But the uh, the gaming era prior to '07 has stuff in it that is not present today, except in like minute cases, and it's not getting critical mass. It's not really getting liftoff. And maybe if this channel ever gets big and you guys want to talk about this stuff, we can, because I have not really heard anybody have a satisfying conversation about this. And there are people that just go off the rails with it. And I'm like, that experience differs from mine. So I think I have some either unique points or a unique composition of my perspective of what was going on with gaming prior to '07. Because in '06, '07, somewhere around there, because I don't think I had graduated yet, but the games, because games were getting pumped out left and right. And I had a buddy who just somehow had unlimited money, and he, like, geez, it wasn't even every game of note. It's like he was buying every single game that came out for his Xbox 360, and I think he had a PlayStation, was it 3 at the time? I think he was buying every game that came out for that too. Like every game I'd seen on the shelf, I eventually saw it at his house. And he said he was completing all of these games and fast. So, anyway, what I saw, it looked like a lot of really like low quality stuff was being pumped out. And it is my postulation, I have never heard this from anyone else, that the reason for this was the advent of version control in software. And if you don't know about that, the quick version is it allows you to save your code as it is, and it can compare changes from the prior saves. They're called commits officially, but I don't like. GitHub is a crappy website. Fight me IRL. Don't even care. Fake geeks have been touting it as the greatest thing ever. But now with AI, and I did not need AI to confirm this. With AI, it is confirming all these stupid flaws in innumerable ways on GitHub, both with just the quality of code, the people there, the garbage vernacular nomenclature used for things on GitHub. And I could go on about this so much, but I don't even really want to argue about it with anybody because I know I'm right. Whatever, fight me IRL. But GitHub has a lot of improvements to make. Short list. The user interface is total garbage. Whatever the graphics and format on the screen, why is it so unconventional? And it does not have a secret benefit. It's just junk. The wording for like commit, push, pull, that's all junk. I mean, you might be able to keep a couple of those, but I don't want to even cut them any slack. Because if I cut any slack, then they'll just do nothing. It just happens every time I try to do that stuff. Anyway, subversion control allows you to pump out these games. And I think what happened is people were like, oh, at these game companies, oh, we got a little checklist here because the speed was no longer matching the pipeline. They're just like, oh, we checked off all of our stuff. Release, oh, cash grab, cash grab, cash grab. And that was the proto phase of what we see today with gaming being total ass. Gaming today sucks. Yeah, there are some diamonds in the rough. something good's coming out somewhere. But this is not a counterpoint. Like, I, I'm going to mention something here because I heard somebody else mention it recently. And before, when I mentioned this, it just like nobody would like pick it up because, oh, there's no social consensus on that. I can't, you know, ride that trend or whatever thing that people do with social media. I don't know. I've never used social media, but that's what it seems to me that they're doing. But I heard somebody else say this recently. They're like, oh, the gaming crash in the 80s. It's not like games stopped being made and there were still good games being made, but we still call it a crash. I think we are in one of the lowest points in gaming that has ever existed. Now, you know, there are people who have some cognitive dissonance on this because they're trying to, they're struggling to get the reaction they want, which I understand. I do this sometimes too. I'm not saying that that's wrong. But there are people who say, oh, gaming's never been better. But they're playing. Okay. I'm going to get attacked no matter what I say here, so I got to do this in passes, and I may have to answer questions later. But they're playing live service gambling crap, and you can't keep the game. There's no ownership, and simultaneously, these are in like webcasts I hear. They will run confidence scams and gaslights in bad faith on their audience, like on their own audience. These grifters need to be stopped. But they'll say that, oh, somebody will hack the live service like that. No, I don't know. I'm not even going to start with that. These same people criticize the Stop Killing Games movement. And now they're all like, oh, yeah, I totally love the Stop Killing Games thing. But, oh, my God. Like, I could go in so many directions, but I guess I would need feedback from the audience here. So, yeah, gaming is worse than it's ever been, but then they will say, oh, gaming is better than it's ever been. I'm eating well in large portions, and, but they're playing, like, these live service games with gambling, and they're never preserved, and you got to pay through the nose to get most of the content. And even still, even if there are these corner case games, most of it's junk. And I'm not talking about just AAA. Though AAA is strange in that I don't know why they're not able to pump out good stuff. Like, I see consumerists playing these games. To me, that is that's an invalid audience. Though, even if these people play a lot of games, they're just playing to consume. Like that famous screenshot of, I'm not here to have fun, I'm here to get through my backlog. That was cringe. Now, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, I wanted to put out these breadcrumbs so that if anybody watches this video, we can have a conversation about this. And I know you hear this a lot. Like, leave a comment in the comment section below. I actually do want to engage on this topic because there are nuggets of gold to be had here. And with AI now, I think this could be blown wide open so fast and furious that, my message will be lost, but we'll just have what we want. But a counterpoint to that is that, you got evil companies like Google trying to do what the how do you say, elder gods of evil like Apple are doing with locking down the system. So now you can't even run custom software on a computer. Like, that is so absurd. I cannot believe that's even close to legal. I can't believe Google just isn't getting sued. And Apple should be just destroyed as a company for having done it the entire time. And that stuff is totally being done at the behest of these intelligence agencies, which we all know who are, that run governments that they're not even part of, but they're occupying and stuff like that. And that's it. It's just to spy and steal your efforts. And I've got so much proof of this, but you guys might want to go on the XDA forums or the Android website or the is it Keep Android Open website and those other tech forums to get a idea for what people are seeing and know is happening and all this stuff like that because uh, they are they have full on evil intentions, and it's just like, well, if you don't give me the value for everything and the glory and let me buy your children as concubines for $20, well then we're not gonna do anything. We have to rule over you. That's what's up there. That's what's happening, and that's the short version of it. But anyway, AI could take gaming into stratosphere. I mean, it would be unlike anything you've ever seen. And I know, okay, I was saying this years ago, and I know you did see a glimpse of this essentially with VR because it's kind of a new medium for gaming and everything else. But something else I wanted to say, and I've got this in a recording I made like a year or 2 years ago. I think there's another one from like 3+ years ago or 5 years ago. But let me get this out there. It's not just VR, but with all these new like computer advancements, and I love that they're experimenting with new controllers. I don't think it has even reached the minds of the people working on these technologies. Because I've only heard one person say this besides me. And they said it just recently in a webcast. A couple months ago. Actually, maybe a month ago. Because I got my gym membership and I was listening to it at the gym. So yeah, that must have been about a month ago. Anyway, what it is that we are on the cusp of new mediums. And what's crazy about this, when I was thinking about this, I realized that some old video games were already trying to do something outside of the medium that they were using, that is video games. However, it was still more of the to the degree of the medium that they desired that didn't exist yet than it would be to have made like a movie or a show or a short clip or something like that. Oh man, I had it like crystallized in my mind what I was trying to say, but it's not merely like oh, you're in a virtual reality environment. It's going to get more granular than that because as people come up with new stuff and get creative, it's going to keep. Dang, I'm sorry I can't recall this thought right now, but like it had to be like articulated a certain way because even with that articulation, people are going to misinterpret it. But without that, they would still misinterpret it, and they'd have to go over it a bunch of times. And people have no tolerance for repetition these days. So I don't want to say that I am speaking my final thought right now because there was a way to express what I'm trying to say about this new medium stuff. But the gist of it is, it's not even going to be a video game in the way that you sense it. No, it will involve a computer. It's more akin to like a simulator thing versus a game. Like there's a bunch of games out there that aren't even games, hence the term like visual novel and stuff like that. But I just don't think the concept that it's not merely that, oh, we got a video game here, we've got a simulator deal here, and we've got a visual novel here. Like those are things that branched off from video games essentially, because if you didn't have video games, you probably would not have gotten the visual novel sort of thing. Like people just, because remember the visual novel term, from what I saw, and I wasn't paying close attention, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed to have come from like, oh, look, we're releasing this on Steam. It's a game. But then people are like, that's not even a game, blah, blah, blah. And so then the term visual novel made it into the zeitgeist. And likewise for the simulators now, yes, I know. When you're first making a game, you essentially have a simulator first, then it develops into a game. So the simulators technically always existed first, but the way it's conceptualized after having been marketed as a video game and then wrapping back around to a a walking simulator, whatever it may be, like goat simulator. I'm not playing goat simulator, but I'm assuming it's an actual simulator and not a game. But and what I'm trying to say here is that it's not necessarily in the same vein as those, and even if it overlaps, like a Venn diagram type style, there will be mediums that are definitely their own type, and no one's going to have it where, oh, I'm going to step into the one side of the Venn diagram or the other. They want that mix, and that mix may be superior, maybe for the vast majority of people, maybe all people, than the XOR version where you're playing, exclusively one or the other type of genre or medium. I'm just going to call it a medium because uh, I'm going to. Okay, so this is my little comfy chatter on the fire. I hope you guys had a nice little sit by the fire. Um, we're going to start Diablo after this, but I had to get out these thoughts because this is something I don't watch a lot of YouTube because it's so diluted now and people putting out a video every day or even every week. It's like, how could you possibly have that much to say after a week of your life passing, especially now that people just live on the internet? It's this incestuous thought process, and especially people checking Google Trends and all that crap for topics. It makes me want to puke. So, yeah, leave you with that. No, we're not doing anything particular on this channel. We are rambling. We are chilling out. We are here to have these sort of discussions. Really, though, I mean, if you guys have anything to say, I do want to have people comment. So, I am actually going to go get some coffee and then probably start another video of Diablo 2 here, but I'll wrap this one up so it's just a nice intro video. So, you know, it's just one nice, neat thing. Catch y'all in the next one.